Hi, I'm Monchen from the Access to Medicine Index, and it's a pleasure to be here at this important conference.
Thank you. I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about your feelings about the pipeline for drug discovery as it relates to NTDs.
Yeah. Well, we saw this morning that there's a lot in the pipeline, but there's also many challenges. As Index, we measure the pipelines ourselves. We just published something on TB where it's promising that there are now a few drugs in the pipeline, and the Johnson one is the most advanced one. So I think NTD is getting more traction from the industry, but there's also a lot of neglected diseases. So some are more neglected than others, which get less attention. And I think the ones who have a commercial potential, like dengue, they are probably served first, and there are huge investments there. But there's also many real tropical diseases who don't get any pipeline at all.
And do you feel like there's any place in the pipeline that's where there's a persistent gap across the board?
Yeah, if you look at Belluri or Jaws, I haven't heard those two diseases at all this morning, and they are typically not having any commercial potential. And of course, private foundations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and governments are stepping into that place. But what I found very disappointing is that the BRICS are not funding a lot while they have a real need for these diseases. So there's a big disparity between the local need and the funding from their end.
And I've heard the term bandied about integrated versus network.
Yeah.
Approaches to
right.
drug development. I was wondering if you had any views on which was the best approach, or the advantages and the disadvantages of these approaches.
Yeah, I think they're both attractive. I think the partnerships, we used to have the era of the PDPs, and they have their pros and cons. They are very costly, and they not always deliver real additional health outcomes. So there are not that many very successful. I think the DNDi is one of the ones who is one of the more successful programs. MMV maybe as well. So PDPs are important, they will be important, but I think the integrated approach is also very interesting. And I think what for instance, Johnson & Johnson is doing now by having a real global health program where they really combine commercial people with researchers is a good example how to drive it internally as well. And I think they really go for these unmet needs as well.
That's great. Thanks very much.
Welcome. Pleasure.